Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. So I'm pre-recording this, and I normally pre-record things anyway, but it's currently, as I'm recording this, 12:07 on Monday the 9th of August. I'm pre-recording this one this far ahead. I never usually record this far ahead because I'm actually working on the day that this is going up, and I want to make sure that I'm ahead on my videos so that I can make other videos later on after. Yeah, it makes things easier for me. Anyway, so you're probably thinking, well, Alex, why are you showing us rubbish pictures that you took on your 5D Mark II? And what's this weird thing? Well, I'm actually using a cursor on the iPad Pro here because it has mouse support. So I brought a trackpad, and it was originally for my Mac for me to edit videos, but I found that I didn't like it that much, and it's been sat in my cupboard for about 6 or 7 weeks. So I thought, why not just use it for YouTube, and then you guys will be able to then see exactly what I'm doing because you can see the cursor here. So the reason for this video and the reason that these images look crap is because, well, I was bored one day and I had nothing else to do, and I went out and just took some random crappy pictures. But Lightroom came out with a little while ago some presets. Now, I don't usually like using presets. I do use presets. I use the Chris Hugh ones here, and they're usually okay. They're not always the best, although that does look pretty good. Yeah, they're not always the best. They don't fit everything that you're going to need. But also within presets came out with, Lightroom came out with some other presets. So we've got some here. So I thought that we could go through them together with some of these crap pictures that I've taken. So why don't we pick an image? Let's actually go with, I think, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll push done. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear it? I don't know, because I can certainly hear it. My neighbours are having some work done, and it's really annoying me. They've been doing it the last 2 weeks. So anyway, let's go back into this. We'll go into presets, and we will look at what we've got. So we've got some, we've got some deep skin portraits. We've got some medium skin, some portrait light skin, some cinematic, some styles, vintage, and travel. Let's have a look at the travel. Oh dear Lord, what's that? That's just a black and white filter. That's just rubbish. These, I mean, you could say that these aren't really for, this kind of image. So why don't we have a look at some of the other ones? There was cinematic. Let's have a look at the cinematic ones. Now, bearing in mind, these pictures haven't been edited at all. Excuse my stomach. What am I meant to really do with these? I mean, I suppose I could do something with that if I push done. I can. Okay, apparently I can't seem to use that, so I'm going to have to brighten that up myself. I mean, what's even the point in this? I don't get it. Like, I don't even know why this isn't moving. I mean, it just looks bad. They just look really bad. Which is exactly what I was expecting them to do. Let's have a look at this. These buildings here, these tower blocks, they're what, 1970 something or other, 1950, whatever, I don't know. And they are due to be demolished soon. Now that looks nice because they are quite vintage. If I push cancel, you've got the standard image that you can. Yeah, it's a pretty good image. Got some floodlights up the top there. So because this is quite old, we do actually have something that we could kind of work with, which is the vintage ones. So if we go into vintage, and we can actually shove that one on there, and it looks roughly, I mean, it doesn't look very good, but yeah, they do, you know, if you were to add in some grain, you know, if I go into done and then go to, I think it was, that's noise reduction, so it must be effects. Here we go. So if we go and add in the grain that's just here, and then we zoom in, and then I think what we'll do is we will, I don't know, I'm thinking about, because, you know, film photography can be, you know, quite difficult, so you don't really want an a perfectly exposed image. You know, you might get it a little bit underexposed. Let's make it look a little bit like that. You know what I am going to do though? I am going to straighten it up a little bit. Okay, that isn't straight. It's less straight than what it was, and it makes me feel sick, if I'm honest. Oh, no, I feel sick. I genuinely feel sick right now. Yeah. But yeah, we can't really, because you could underexpose it slightly and bring in some contrast. Actually, let's bring that exposure back up. We'll bring in the contrast, and then we'll bring up the greens again, because this preset did add in greens. I think we'll bring it towards that way. Yeah, that looks pretty. No, I don't want that. It looks pretty good, to be fair. I mean, it doesn't look 100% authentic, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay for, you know, replicating film. So let's go and have a look at some of the other pictures. So we've got 3 of them images of the building itself. So, you know, we can come back to that if we want to, actually. We've got the group of buildings. We've got some new buildings that's just over here. I'm not really worried about them because I'm not really focusing on them today. Normally I would probably, you know, if I was just trying to focus on just getting these shots itself and trying to be more, you know, time authentic, I would probably get rid of them over here in Photoshop, and I would definitely get rid of the stuff that's I would get rid of the stuff that's over here as well, because there appears to actually be 2 people just here, and then there's a swing here that is a very, very recent, you know, fixture to this area. So yeah, I would definitely go in and manually edit that. Especially some of this stuff over here as well. Like, look at all this, you know, modern 21st century stuff, and then we've just got these 4 buildings that are just sat there from like the 1970s, 1980s. Now, you probably actually notice if you look just up here, there's actually a little bit of dirt. That's from where I didn't clean my sensor. But normally, you know, if I was editing an image like this, I would just, you know, click that out and it would go. But we can use that today to our advantage if we go back into the vintage ones and we find a filter that kind of fits this whole scenario. Ooh, it looks very dark and dingy, and actually I might get rid of that actually, because I quite like this one. So if we go into healing and then we go in like that, and then I can just, yes, I want to clone it, so we'll go to that, and then we'll move that to just, you know, not all of them have to be vintage, obviously, so, although that does need a little bit more work. So I am going to use my pencil, because I do find it easier to edit with pencils. So there we go. That should be okay. Yep, there we go. Now what I will say is I do quite like this. It's quite, I wouldn't say grungy. Yeah, I suppose it's quite, it's quite a depressing area, really, to be fair. If we bring up this contrast here, and then bring down them highlights, bring the exposure up. We can really make it look like as if it's a really kind of dark and dingy place, especially if we add more of that actual film grain to the scene. Because, film grain isn't always, reminiscent of like certain eras of colour, so to speak. So, you won't always just get the film. Yeah, this could be a modern-ish film camera, and you do get them. But yeah, I think this could look quite good. And to be fair, there has been a time of when I kind of cheated with a little bit of film. Kind of like this. I took a digital image and I had my ISO too high. So I disguised it as noise. No, not noise, as film grain. And I kind of changed the two out. I kind of changed the film grain. I changed the noise to film grain and made it look more film grainy. And it looked really quite nice. Really nice, to be fair. So let's have a look at this one, actually. Now, this isn't obviously very straight. We'll straighten it out, shall we? There we go. And let's go back to them presets. Now, bearing in mind that this isn't, obviously a portrait one, but we just have a flick through them. Just see what you get. Apparently you don't get much. And then again, what do you expect for free presets, really? You don't expect a lot. Let's have a look at the cinematics again. No, they're horrible. Stay away from them. And what are these? And these are okay. I mean, I suppose that looks quite nice. Again, that looks very, very vintagey. It looks, especially with that building there that, again, is, 1970s, 1980s kind of thing. But it is all being done up. I believe that's going to be a nursery of some kind soon. But I'm not 100%. But yeah, this does definitely kind of look like an old, an old lake kind of image, especially with that filter, that preset. I keep calling them filters because that's what I see them as. I see them as yeah. This filter, I still called it a filter. This preset I feel would be good if you had a long exposure of the water. But it's not a long exposure, so is that it's just not very good, if I'm brutally honest. I do want to have another look at the travel. Oh dear Lord, no. I think what I might be able to do actually is if I go with that one and then I'm going to that. No, not that one. So these presets are, well, presets. So there were a few presets here for portraits, and luckily I've got a few portraits just here. Some of them are okay, some of them are bad, some of them worse, whatever. Not really particularly bothered about how good they already currently look. Some of them I'm pretty happy with. So why don't we see if we can make them better or make them worse. So let's have a look at some of these presets then, because there obviously was some for portraits. Let's have a look at, I'm going to go through all of them. Oh dear Lord, what is that? Now obviously, presets aren't fully always designed for specific, types of photo shoots. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look bad. bad, and in this case they just look bad. Let's have a look at this one, because I quite like this one. There's quite a bit of depth to the shot, and I just really like it, to be fair. So we'll go into the portrait. All that one did was just heat up the shot. It just made the shot more orangey yellow kind of thing. And then this next one just kind of dulled it back down again. Oh dear Lord, that's horrible. Yeah, these are not good. That's just chucked a little contrast. Who designed these things? I mean, that's not too bad, but it's just black and white. You know what? I'm not even going to try and do any more, because that's just absolutely horrible. Horrible. Whoever made these presets deserves to be fired. Like, seriously. Hello. Can you guys see me? This is... I'm recording on my iPad Pro here. With a microphone. He just next to me. That's why you guys can hear me, obviously. But seriously, whoever made... You know what? I'm going to move this microphone over a little bit, just so you guys can see me a little bit better. But you can still hear my beautiful voice. Let's just... Yeah, so whoever made these presets, can you please not? Like, really, they're bad. They are really bad. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this video. I'll see you in the next.